Hello everybody, I wanted to make this video. I've been wanting to make it for a while now, and I just haven't found the time, so I'm like, you know what, I gotta drive. I'm driving back to my hometown from Lincoln, Nebraska, and I thought I'd just drop it in here. So here we go. On Friday, a big scholarship in Nebraska came out called the Buffetts, and there was a lot of tears, just as there are every year, right? Students were happy because they got it, and then students were devastated because they didn't get it. And over the years of working with students, I've grown to love and hate the Buffett at the same time, right? I love it because if a student gets it, it's a full ride scholarship, and I hate it because so many students put all of their eggs in one basket. They apply for the Buffett and maybe a couple little scholarships, but they literally rely like, hey, if I get the Buffett, I go to college, and if I don't get the Buffett, then I'm not going to college. And that is a losing strategy. I mean, even if you got the Buffett, you can't do that in the future. You know, you can't have that same strategy. You have to have options. And so if you didn't get the Buffett, I'm gonna hopefully give you guys some options, and hopefully you learn something from this, because when you're in pain, when you're feeling like crap, when something doesn't go your way, that's the best opportunity to actually learn something you're gonna be able to use in the future. So if you didn't get the Buffett, if you're a senior right now, you don't have any scholarships to go to college, hopefully this video is gonna encourage you and give you some strategies on what you can do next. But the number one lesson you should learn is you have to have options, right? One thing I've lived by in my life, whenever I have a problem or something that I really, really want, I always give myself three solutions or three options, okay? One of them could have been the Buffett for you, but you should have had two other things that backed it up, right? If I don't get the Buffett, then this second thing or this third thing. Here's an example. Some of you guys applied for the FAFSA, okay? Some of you guys are getting the full Pell Grant, which is $5,000 plus, right? Maybe you can't go to the university that you wanted to go because it costs $8,000 and you don't want to get a loan, and you don't want, your family doesn't have money, but you have $5,000 from the FAFSA. Option number two, you know, humble yourself, go to community college. They're great institutions, and you don't have to get a loan. Then later on, you can transfer to university. So many times we get caught up in going to the best college, and I have to go to this university, make my parents proud. You know what? Your parents are gonna be proud of you if you make progress. See, it's not. I get so angry about people that think that they have to go to Harvard to make their parents proud, or that they have to go to this special university because it's gonna make all their dreams come true. Nah, you just gotta take that first step, man. You know. And that first step might be literally taking a college course at one of the community colleges, right? Taking 2 years there and then transferring, or getting your associates and starting to work. Progress is more important than perfect, right? Than having that perfect college with the perfect major, with the perfect programs. You know what? Sometimes you don't get the option to have perfect, right? So you got to go to the next very best thing, which is progress. And actually, progress is even better. Because I'll tell you what, over the years, I've had a ton of students get the Buffett, you know, and some have gone on and done well, and some have dropped out. You know, just because you get a full ride scholarship doesn't mean you end up finishing college. In fact, a lot of students actually don't. In fact, here's the interesting thing. I was just literally having a conversation with somebody last week. They're going to Metro Community College, old student of mine, and they always hung out with another student of mine that actually just dropped out of college, right? That other student got the Buffett, this student didn't get it, and they're still in college. And you know why? Well, as we were having that conversation, you know what the reason why it was? Is they had to work for it. You know, sometimes when you work for something, like when you have to pay out of your own pocket to do something, you value it more. Right? You realize that you can't give it up. And sometimes when something's given to you, even when you earn a scholarship, sometimes it's easy. Sometimes you take it for granted. Sometimes you don't realize all the sacrifice that has to go into something, and you don't value it as much. And so if you didn't get the Buffett, I know this sounds weird right now. This might have been actually the best thing that could have happened to you, because now you're gonna have to work for it, right? Now you're gonna have to put maybe some of your own money into it. Maybe now you're gonna have to actually work in college, and it's gonna be tougher and harder, but you know what? When you finish, you're gonna value it that much more because you put in so much into it. option number 3. So option number 2 was, get fill out the FAFSA if you're eligible for it. Option number 3, I would give you this option is maybe you don't go to college, right? Maybe you take a year or 2 years off and you go out and explore what you want to do. This is great if you have no idea what you want to do. I know this is not popular, and I know a lot of teachers, a lot of people listening to this will be like, what are you telling kids not to go to college? But seriously, like, if you don't have the money, if you don't have a scholarship, take a year, take 2 years off, right? But don't just take them off to go work at McDonald's. Like, take them off and go and find a mentor. Go and find somebody that you think has the career that you're interested in and work for them free. Yeah, you heard me right. I said work for them for free, because what it'll allow you to do is see that career up close and then really see if that's what you want to do. And if you work for that person for free, they'll want to mentor you, right? They'll want to help you out. And then you might actually get a job, like a paid job from them later on in the future. So that's an option, Or maybe you go out and do a AmeriCorps, or you go out and do Peace Corps and go around the world and do volunteering and give back to the community and try to figure out what you want to do. I think I remember hearing a story, Steve Jobs, the creator of Apple, he didn't really know what he wanted to do straight out of high school, and he went out. Like, he literally went to India and to other places just to try to figure out what he wanted to do for the future. So that might be another course of action. Let me tell you what, I got the opportunity about a month ago. I went to North Carolina. I was speaking there in front of students. Afterwards, 2 girls came up to me and they said, man, we really got inspired by your talk, but we have a problem. We're seniors. We didn't think we'd go to college because we're undocumented. We don't have a social security card, so we can't apply for the FAFSA. But hearing you talk, now we want to go to college. And they were asking me literally like, okay, we haven't done anything. We're seniors. We have 2-3 months to graduate. What do we do, right? And I literally had to come up with some ideas on the spot. And so if you're in this scenario, okay, if you're an undocumented student, which even if you're a student and you didn't get the FAFSA, or you didn't get the Buffett, but you can apply for the FAFSA, think about this. There are students, right? There are literally students in this country who can't even apply for the FAFSA, right? Like, they couldn't get it. Like, they don't have $5,000 that the government could give them to be able to go to college. If you have that, you should be grateful for that. You should genuinely be like, man, you think you have it bad? Other people always have it worse than you, right? So if you're a student that is undocumented, right? You're a dreamer, DACA recipient, you can't apply for the FAFSA, you didn't get the Buffett, maybe you didn't apply to any other scholarships, you have nothing, you're about to graduate in a month. What do I do, Juan? If you ask me that question, I give you 3 options, right? One is, if you're working somehow or there's any way you can get some money to take one class. I literally would do this. I would take one class in college that first semester, that first quarter, right? And I go to the community college, so you get the cheapest course. And I take one class, and the reason I take one class is because sometimes you just gotta take that first step. Sometimes you just take that first step and then you get a feel for it, and then you can get a feel for college. And then you can see like, oh, this is what a college class is like. And then maybe you get a really good grade and then you get encouraged and you want to take another class, right? But you got to start somewhere. And a class like at a community college, like in Omaha, it's about, I think like $150 for a class, which might seem like a lot, but you know what? Maybe you sell some stuff. Maybe you ask your Theo for $25 and $25 over here to take that one college class. I know it seems silly, but honestly, just getting into college, that's the hardest thing. Taking that first class and being successful, sometimes that's the hardest thing. And so that's option number 1. Option number 2, I already gave it to you. I would literally go out. Maybe, you're like, I'm not gonna go to college straight up because I don't have the money. I would literally go and try to find somebody that's doing the career that I wanna do, and I would work for them for free. Yes, for free, right? For the same reasons I gave you before. Because, like, if you can find a mentor, okay, if you can find somebody that can help you get to that career, like, I think that's the greatest education, even better education than going to college. I've been speaking. I'm gonna give a shout out to my mentor Ernesto Mejia and Carlos Ojeda. Man, from those 2 guys, I've learned more things than I've ever learned in college. Not just about speaking, but about life, about interacting, about facilitating, about impacting youth, about so many things. But you got to be humble. You got to be able to go out and search for people. You got to take risks. You got to ask people and get rejected. And most people want easy. They want it here you go. No, you got to go out and search for it. Okay. So that's option number 2. Option number 3, I would literally take the summer to research all the scholarships that are available for the following year that I can apply for, even though I'm out of high school, right? So there are scholarships still for students that have graduated high school, okay, that maybe haven't started college or maybe started one college course, and then you can apply for those. And you just have to look for them. So you can go to the community college or the university, talk to an advisor, tell them your situation, say, I'm going to apply for college next year. What are all the scholarships that are available to DACA students, that are undocumented students, or whatever your scenario is, and get a list of 10, 15, 20, 30. When I went to college, when I applied to scholarships, I applied to over 30 scholarships. I got a full ride, and people were like, oh, you're so lucky, you got a full ride and you got money, and I was like, it wasn't luck. Like I worked my butt off in high school, and number 2, I filled out a ton of scholarships, a ton, right? I didn't just wait for one thing. I didn't put my bet in all just on one solo scholarship offer. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket. I literally went out and applied to as many scholarships as I could, because I realized, like, even if I get 2 or 3, those 2 or 3 can make the biggest difference, right? So those 3 things I would do. And I'll give you guys a little bonus, right? So if you're an undocumented student, you're a dreamer, you're a DACA recipient, there's a scholarship, and I'll put the link down below, okay? It's called the MILPA Scholarship, and it's specifically for undocumented students that are interested in going to Metro. It pays for 1 full year, and the requirements are you have to be an undocumented student, you have to be a Latin American origin, and you also couldn't have received the Buffett or any other full ride scholarship. So they're giving out those scholarships. You should apply. There's another scholarship that I'll put the link below. It's called the True Potential Scholarship, and this scholarship is similar to the MILPA Scholarship, but one of the coolest things about this scholarship too is that people that are out of high school, they graduated, they can apply for it and go to college. This is for adults. This is for people that are in college, or tried college and are wanting to go and continue on. So those are the 2 options I'm going to give you guys. Well, I'll leave you with this. In life, you're going to have a plan, you're going to have some goals, and usually you should count on your plans getting messed up and things not falling in line. And sometimes it's a crooked line to your goal, and sometimes you have to take a step back to take a step forward. But if you're really committed, you won't let this stop you. If you didn't get the Buffett, if you didn't get all the things you needed in order to go to college, if things aren't perfect for you, you're gonna make it happen. And if you're not committed, you won't. And you can blame it on the scholarship, and you can blame it on people, and you can blame it on everything else. But at the end of the day, if you don't go to college, if you're not successful in life, it's gonna come down to one reason, okay? You weren't committed and you didn't decide. Now, with that said, there's people out there, right? There's people like me, there's people out there that wanna help you, that are putting literally money, time, effort to help you. You gotta reach out to those individuals. So if there's any way I can help you, reach out, DM me. I'd love to help. Reach out to your counselors. Sometimes we're so reserved and we think we got to figure it out all ourselves, and we don't realize that there's a ton of people out there that are for me, that are willing to help, that want to help, right? We just have to ask. I hope this helps.